All right, let's do a lending club peer-to-peer lending portfolio update for May 2022. Hi, I'm John McNeil. This is the Invest Strong Network. Welcome. So, the peer-to-peer lending club portfolio is winding down. Now, as Invest Strong viewers know, since the late summer and early fall of 2018, I had invested the sum of $25 a pop into various notes that are essentially loans that are uh, that are uh, put together by Lending Club, and then the loans are given to persons who have requested them for a variety of reasons. Now, the loans are given a credit quality grading from A1 at the very top to as low as, like, I believe G5 at one point, which was the lowest of the low and most risky of loans. Now, my portfolio was basically concentrated in the A, B, and C level notes, right? All right. So, Lending Club essentially decided to get out of the peer to peer lending business at the end of 2020. Now, they did not completely exit. What they did was they elected to no longer issue any new notes, and then they would basically continue to service the loans that had already been sold, the notes that had already been sold, until such time the very last note is paid off, and then the project will come to a completion. All right. Now, in that time, I had acquired the number of 342 complete notes. Now, these notes were of a 3-year duration, and I acquired them at various points between the late summer, early fall of 2018 and December 31st of 2020, right? So let's do a review on the performance of these legacy notes. So again, 342 complete notes. That's the universe, and that number will remain static until the end of this particular project. As of today, and we're talking early May of 2022, some 46 notes are still out there and performing. Yay, 46. Okay. This compares to 55 that were out there and performing the last time I did a review back in March. All right. Now, I have currently a single note in the grace period. Now, the grace period is the first 2 weeks after a note payment is due. Technically, the note is not considered late, but it is the first step in the delinquency process, right? So you don't want to see any notes in the grace period. Well, I have one. It is a B level note, and compared to 0 that were in the grace period back in March. Okay, now here's where things get really interesting. I have 268 of the 342 notes that have completely paid off with interest. That is fantastic. I love it. It's great. And that compares to 259 that had paid off in March. So basically, I've had an additional 9 complete payments, redemptions in this last 2 month period. All right. Now, in the 16 to 30 day delinquency category, I have a single B level note, and that's very much what I had the last go round too. I also had a single B level note in that category. In the 31 to 120 day delinquency period, I have 0 notes. Yay! That is fantastic. And that compares to another goose egg back in March. So that's great. And, that's really very, very important. No, forgive me. I had one 16 to 30 day delinquency note back in March. And that was a B level note. I apologize. And the funny thing about it is, right before that note was to fall into the charge off category, the owner of that note completely paid off. Isn't that something? I mean, they had to pay all those late fees and interest and all of that stuff, but they paid it off right before it fell into the charge off category. So that was great, and that was really the only one I had in that category. And so now I have zero. That is fantastic. And in fact, I have zero notes that are in the default category this go round. As last time, I also had zero notes in that default category. All right. So overall, charge offs. Well, I still have the same number of charge offs as I had back in May. I'm sorry, back in March, and that's 25, right? And in fact, I've been sitting on that 25 charge off number for about 8 months now. And that's actually excellent. That means I have not had a note to charge off in over half a year. And that's outstanding. That's the longest stretch I think I've ever seen in dealing with Lending Club. So we'll definitely take that. Now, of the 25 that have charged off over the course of the Lending Club peer-to-peer lending project, 3 are A level notes, 8 are B level notes, 13 are C level notes, and I had a single D level note default. One out of 2 that I had purchased default, a 50% default rate on D level notes. All right, at least in my portfolio. All right. And of course, I have one note that is put in the canceled category. Now, canceled mean that they were in the process of working out the entire loan with the applicant. Something happened, and they decided to not issue that particular loan publicly. However, they had collected a certain number of investment funds before it was canceled, right? Officially canceled. And I was one of the persons that bought into it, and I have not gotten my $25 back, right? So don't know what's going on there, but in any event, that was a single A level note that's in the canceled category. All right. Bottom line, the year over year total return for the Lending Club portfolio is a stunning 11.96%. 11.96%. That I just could not hope for a return better than that, right? And it really breaks my heart that Lending Club is no longer doing the peer-to-peer lending, right? But I mean, obviously, what are you going to do? But this has certainly worked out great as far as I'm concerned, and I still have a little bit of time to go before the project comes to a complete conclusion, right? So I'm going to say probably late 2023, right? And that's when it'll come to a complete conclusion, and there'll be shall we say, a sundown on the Lending Club portfolio. But for now, it's still performing great, and I'm just blessed that with these 46 notes or so that I still have going on, that it's still active and performing. All right. So that's my update as of May 2020. If you found this instructive, informative, please hit that thumbs up button for me. I'd appreciate it. Need you to do that, please. Also, let me know what you think. If you are an investor in Lending Club notes, or even Prosper, or any other kind of peer-to-peer lending platform, let me know. I would love to know what your results have been in this contemporary period as interest rates are beginning to increase. Also, please subscribe to Invest Strong. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much, friends, and good blessings.